I'm John Dunsmure. I'm the Managing Director at the British Chambers of Commerce. Chambers of Commerce are there to support business, whether they're members, although we're a membership organisation. Chambers are there to help the wider business community. The trend in this country now altogether is far more movement towards the SME community. A lot of people just don't realise that there's only 6,000 businesses in this country now that employ more than 250 people. That means that out of the 4.7 million businesses in the UK, the vast majority of those are SMEs. And those SMEs have different wants and needs than a lot of the larger organisations. We think that it's vitally important that those SMEs compete, not only amongst their own peer group, but also against some of those larger organisations. And we really have to get up to speed on the technology side of things. We know that, sort of within the United Kingdom, we are behind where a lot of our European sort of countries and also on a worldwide basis, and we really need to do a lot more about it. How do you help those businesses that are there, that want to succeed and that move on and that can do things? And if we don't, then this country sadly will move further down the overall economic scale, and we'll be the third world kind of country in the future rather than sort of a leading nation in the future. We are now a global marketplace. It doesn't matter whether you're two people in a business. If you have a web presence, then anybody externally looking at you doesn't care whether it's 2 people or 200 or 2,000. All they want to know is that the ability and the capability is there to service their wants and needs. And if we're going to compete, then any business has to have that infrastructure available. It has to have that kind of support, and it needs the technology to help it compete. I think it's fair to say that SMEs are quite conservative sometimes in their approach, not because they want to be, but it's just that they're too busy getting on with all the other things that need to be done. It's the old cliche, you don't always know what you don't know, and it's how do we try and get that information across to people and how beneficial it can be for them that we think is important. That's why we work a lot with organisations like BT and others about getting those messages out there and making the solutions become a reality for business. Next generation access is fundamental to, I think, to the survival of the businesses going forward. We've had problems in the past in this country about not getting the right access, not having the right capability and so on. That is changing dramatically, and I think it's going to change even more dramatically in the future. And this is why, those businesses need to know that it's there, they need to know what it can do for them, and they need to know, sort of how soon it is that they can get access to it and where the benefits for them will be. I think it's hugely powerful. I mean, just one small example is that we use a PR agency, and that PR agency operate from home. We can get access to them 24/7. They've got consultants from around the world that can add different benefits, different knowledge, different experience at different times. So we get access to this PR company 24/7, although they're not operating and working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We as the customer don't see that. And that to me is the sort of environment that people are going to have to compete against going forward. You're tapping into knowledge and ability and experience. It doesn't matter about time zones. You can do all of that, and that information is there for you whenever you come in the morning, your time, and it's been handled by somebody else around the world overnight. I think the exciting thing about NGA is that it gives businesses a scalable opportunity to plan for the future and to organise what they want to do. You might not need it all today, but it's there, and I think that's a very encouraging thing. You're not having to worry about where's the technology going to be next year, 5 years from now. We're taking a quantum leap, if you like, in that area. How do we try and capitalise on that, maximise it now for what it's worth, but the ability is there further down the line if you need it then and when you need it.